joining us right now is Will Dawkins, GM of the Washington Wizards. Made a lot of moves last week, Will. What was the week like for you?
We weren't messing around.
I mean, we did the show on Friday. We did the Altcast, by the way, and you guys had like only 6 or 7 guys available. It's crazy.
I think it was eight to start, and then by the end of the game, I think you had
because George got hurt.
6 bodies available.
Good morning, Buzz. Yeah, it was a busy week. It was a busy week for us.
Well, that's why they brought you in here, because you were going to just tear it all apart.
Did it work out the way you expected, you hoped, or did you leave some stuff out there that you were also hoping to get done?
Yeah, I would say the deadline is always wild. As you guys saw from some other teams, there was a lot going on. I think there was a shift overall in the NBA, but for us, we wanted to be active. It takes 2 teams and sometimes 3 and 4 to make deals happen, and a lot of times it comes down to the wire. So we felt that we were pretty fortunate to get what we got done. We obviously led some helpful players that I'd love to thank for their time that they were here with us, but at the end of the day, where we are at an organization and the life cycle you guys are talking about of building it back up, we needed to shift towards more long-term stuff, and I think we accomplished that.
Now, are these mostly phone pitches or these text or emails? Like, how does it take me through, like, a typical deal? Like, do you have to, like, be on the phone with the other GM or whoever's crafting the deal on the other side of you, whatever team you're dealing with? How does it work?
Yeah, so believe it or not, Draft Day, the movie, isn't necessarily accurate on everything when you watch it and how you communicate back and forth. But it's mostly Michael Winger and I. We have a big crew, a big staff that prepares us and makes sure that we're ready. So we have a lot of scenarios already planned out, and it's kind of on us to execute it, but mostly through phone calls, to be honest. A lot of times it could be quick follow-up texts just to lock it back in and make sure we're not missing anything, and then it gets to the emails where the deal's actually made. But for the most part, we're lobbing back and forth, a lot of phone calls, and making sure that we're keeping both of my phones charged at all times.
Now, going out and getting a Chris Middleton and going out and getting a Marcus Smart. Now, Smart's been hurt. Middleton's been hurt. We were just kind of talking about the lack of bodies you had on Friday night and into Saturday night. When do you expect those guys, those veterans, to come and kind of help out the young guys and replace some of those minutes?
Yeah, I think the cavalry will be coming after the All-Star break.
Okay.
We're going to make sure that we assess them properly, get them healthy, and start making sure that they're ready to go post-All-Star break. So I expect that to be closer to the time where we see the full group together. But fortunately, some of the deals have gone through that hadn't gone through by the time we played on Friday and Saturday, so it made it a little tougher.
Right.
But everything's official, so we'll have 15 guys at least on the roster for tonight. And then once we get back from the deadline, pretty much everybody should be back and healthy. But not the deadline, the All-Star break. So we should be able to kind of see that group. And like you said, adding those veteran players to come in and support as well with Malcolm Brogdon, like that's really going to help our young guys.
How many teams were interested in Jordan and maybe even Brogdon, since they're veterans? And Poole had a great game on Friday night, man. He just couldn't miss. But was teams, were they calling you about those guys?
Yeah, I would say we get a calls on a lot of our veteran players, as you can imagine. I wouldn't go down the deals that we didn't do or we could have done, but I'd say there's interest league-wide on the guys that we have, and that's a good thing. But we also have interest in them, and we also value them, and that's why we kept them here and look forward to what we have with them into the rest of the season.
Talking to Will Dawkins, the GM of the Washington Wizards, powered by Verizon. All right, let's get into some of the players. One thing I'll say is the young guys play hard. And we saw A.J. Johnson for the first time on Friday night, one of the new guys who was acquired. He makes the 4th first-round pick from this draft on the team right now. And he wasn't shy. He came in. I think he jacked up a shot the first time he touched the ball. He had a dunk. Tell us about A.J. Johnson.
Yeah, that's a tough one when you get thrown in day of as you arrive and do your physical and haven't really got a chance to learn the offense. But he's someone that we track during the draft process. Our scouts travel all the way out to Australia to see him practice, see him play. And the youth, the hunger, the athleticism, the quick twitch was something that we had rated pretty high. As you guys know, we feel pretty good about the 3 guys we actually drafted. But AJ was someone that we liked in the draft as well. So where we're at, giving ourselves another opportunity for a young athletic wing, I think that's important to us. with AJ. He spent most of the year so far in the G League, hasn't had a great opportunity with where the Milwaukee Bucks were to play impactful minutes. So we'll try to get him up to speed here in D.C. and give him a little bit of opportunity at the end of the season. But we look at him as someone that's going to have a really good summer and lead in the summer league and kind of build his way back up, kind of like a redshirt year this year that he's had so far. So we got to ramp him back up.